Ursula von der Leyen just got re-elected as president of the European Commission. Let's talk about what it really means, because this isn't just business as usual. This is a big flashing sign of where Europe's leadership stands right now, especially when it comes to Israel and Gaza. Von der Leyen has been out there talking about shared values between Europe and Israel, a phrase that's become almost nauseating when you think about what's actually happening in Gaza.
We have more in common than geography would suggest. Our shared culture, our values.
Is she blind? We are seeing hospitals bombed, civilians starved, an entire population being systematically destroyed. And while all of this is going on, von der Leyen is not just silent, she is praising Israel, talking about these shared values like they're something to be proud of. What kind of shared values are we sharing here? The value of destroying an entire population or entire population's country. The value of suppressing anyone who dares to speak out. The value of formalizing rape. I mean, you can't make this up. The value of formalizing rape as a legitimate tool of torture, as Israel openly discusses these days. These are the shared values von der Leyen is talking about. Professor Dirk Moses, who I interviewed recently, didn't pull any punches when he called out these so-called shared values. He laid it out clearly. These values aren't about democracy or human rights. They're about silencing critics and legitimizing violence.
I mean, when people talk about shared values, I guess that does seem right, because there's a shared value in persecuting or prosecuting academic freedom. It's happening in Israel and in Western countries. So this is a very worrying development.
You can find a link to the full interview in the description below. So von der Leyen's re-election tells us that this approach, this dangerous rhetoric, has the backing of Europe's most powerful political players. It's not just her saying these things, it's the whole system standing behind her, giving her a stamp of approval to continue down this path. And this isn't just a European issue either. Germany, a country that should know better given its history, is fully behind von der Leyen. The Holocaust was supposed to teach us never to allow something like this to happen again. Yet, here we are, with German leadership supporting actions in Gaza that echo the darkest chapters of its own past. And let's be real, von der Leyen's leadership isn't just about foreign policy. It's about shaping the entire narrative Europe is telling itself and the world. Her re-election means the narrative isn't changing anytime soon, so brace yourselves. What does it say that von der Leyen is still in power? It says that Europe is willing to stand by and even support the maiming, killing and starving of civilians in Gaza. It says that suppressing academic freedom, like what Dirk Moses has talked about, is part of these shared values. It says that the world hasn't learned as much as we thought we had from the horrors of the past. In the end, von der Leyen's re-election is more than just a political event. It's a statement. A statement that the violence in Gaza is acceptable, that the suppression of truth is just fine, and that Europe is ready to keep walking down this dangerous road. And that's the thing that's quite terrifying.